Hello and welcome back, episode 174. We're going to do a quick update on the Fireball launcher from last episode. We're going to make a couple of little changes. We're going to make three changes really. One, we're going to add some gravity to it so it curves down towards the ground. Two, we're going to make it so it only works with a tagged carrot on a stick. Otherwise, all carrots on a stick will work. And three, and this is the important one, it turns out that markers are not killed by being teleported into the void. So they're just going to hang around down there in the last episode, and eventually that's going to cause a problem. So we're going to do the same thing as last time, and we're just going to make those three little changes. So we were going to have our scoreboard, objectives, add, click, used, carrot on a stick. Done. And we're going to be using the same sort of method for checking the direction to fire the thing. So we're going to be doing a force load as well. A frog load. No. Force load, please. Thank you. -1, -1, 1, 1. Okay, let's done that. And let's give ourselves the carrot on a stick. We'll just say give. And this will be one of our first changes. So we are going to give nearest player a carrot on a stick, and we want to give it a tag. So it's an item, so we don't use the tags keyword, we call it fireStrike. And we'll say that's true. Okay, so we've got a tag on it called fireStrike. Done. Give myself one of them, and now the controller. Controller, fat controller, stick a lever on because I always use levers. Okay, we are going to execute as all players. Open and close that. Scores equals, open and close that. Click equals 1 or higher. Okay, that's cool, and we'll have a limit equals 1. Okay, and here's a new bit. We are checking for that tag, so MBT equals, open and close, selected item, open and close, tag, open and close, and we called it fireStrike. True. Make sure we get the name right. Okay, and I am going to shift home and copy all of that. Copy, because we're going to use that in the next command block as well. Okay, at the person running the command, and again we want it anchored to my eyes, don't want the fireball coming from my feet. Run, summon, small fireball, 0.5 in the direction I am looking. Open and close extra bits, we're going to give it some tags. Oh, that's a list. Square brackets for lists. 1, and I think we have 2 tags, don't we? We have projectile. And we want the init, so we can target it one time only. This time we're going to add some differences. Okay, so we're going to add a bit of power. It's going to be summoned with power. Open and close square brackets. And I'm going to have 0 on the X. I'm going to have minus 0.098. Why not? You can have 0.1 if you want. And I'm going to have 0 on the Y. So we're giving it a bit of power, so as soon as it summons, it's going to try and go down. We've set its power to make it go down. Okay, and we want the passenger again. Passengers, that's a list, so square brackets. We're going to have 1 passenger, they go in there. They will have an ID, which will go in there. And they are going to have some tags, which is a list, which will go in there. So it's ID, Minecraft, marker. What did we call it last time? I think we called it fireboom, didn't we? Fireboom. Okay, so that's our first command done. We are summoning a small fireball just in front of us with 2 tags, and it's got a little marker riding on top of it that's got its own tag. Done. Here. Let's paste in that first bit. So execute as anyone who's clicked. Limit of 1, did they click while holding an item which is tagged with fireStrike. And here we do the little positioning trick. Positioned at 0, 0, 0. Remember we force loaded that. And then we're going to move it away from 0, 0, 0 in the direction we are looking. Do we want it to go a bit faster, a bit slower? This is where we control the speed, if you remember from last time. Put 0.3. That'll do for the speed for now. Let's go a bit faster, 0.7, why not? Okay, and we will run, summon, an area effect cloud, and at those coordinates. So those are at the coordinates 0, 0, 0, and then we position it a bit in front of those coordinates. Now we're going to summon. Let's give it a tag. What did we call it last time? I think we called it, tag. I think we call it direction. Square brackets for tags because they're a list. Direction. Okay, done. Going to the next one. We are going to data modify an entity because we want to modify our fireball at entity, open and close. Okay, so data modify, it had the tag projectile, but we also want it to have the tag init, because we're only going to target it once, and we can only do one at a time, so we limit that. And last time we did its power. Now we've already set its power to give it a bit of a downward motion, so this time we're going to change its motion. We don't want to override its power. So let's set to motion, set from entity, entity. Which entity? Well, our area effect cloud. Our area effect cloud, and a limit of 1. Oh, didn't put our tag in there. Let's put our tag in as well. Tag equals direction, we called it. And we'll set that from its pos. So we're setting the motion this time, not the power. Done. Let's get the next command block. Okay, now we've initialized our fireball. We don't want to be initializing it again. So we will tag any entity. Type equals small fireball. Tag equals projectile. Tag equals init. And we will remove init. So now we will not be initializing it a second time. Done. Now we also want to be able to click again to fire another fireball. So let's reset that scoreboard. Scoreboard, players, reset, all players, click. We can now click again. Done. Okay, and now we're going to do the explosion and the killing of the marker. Rather than just sending it into the void, where apparently it's quite happy to live forever, which we don't want, we're going to actually have to kill it. So first we'll do the explosion. Execute as entity. Type equals marker. Tag equals fireboom. Okay. Execute as, we've put all players. Entity, there we go. Type equals marker, tag equals fireboom at itself, unless there is an entity. What type of entity? Well, unless there's an entity of type small fireball, tag equals projectile, distance equals 0 to 0.5. So if it's riding on the projectile, it's going to be close to 1. We're not going to execute the next bit. Run, and I'm going to copy all of that. Shift home copy. What we're going to do, this is where we summon the explosion or the fireball. summon fireball at the coordinates of the marker. Let's make it so we can see that. We're going to give it some power, which is a list, so square brackets. Nothing on the X. I'm going to give it some down power, -10. Let's slam it down into the ground nice and fast. Not D. Okay, it looks okay at the moment. And we want to give it an explosion power, which I'm just going to set as 1 for now. Okay, so the small fireball has flown along, it's hit something and disappeared. Now the marker says there's no fireball near me. There's no small fireball near me. I'm not riding one anymore. I will summon a fireball straight down into the ground. Bang. Done. Now we take the bit that we cut and pasted, put it back in again. So that's exactly the same as before. Summon at the marker fireboom, unless it's still riding on the fireball. Run. Kill yourself. So this will actually kill it, unlike teleporting it into the void. Now we've dealt with, that's the problem. That was the problem. That's just going to build up markers floating around in the void having their own party, which is what we want to get rid of. And then we've got rid of a strange command. This is to smooth out the animation, the movement. I think Minecraft updates movement for most things every 20 ticks. But some things like projectiles, they update every 4 or 5 ticks, something like that. I'm not great, you'll have to look into that. But what we can do is we can force it to update itself by fiddling with one of its tags. So if we fiddle with its air tag, type equals small fireball. So we're going to play with its air tag and just turn it on and off, and that's going to force it to update its position. So it should be a little bit smoother when it's flying through the air. Type equals projectile, store result, entity, it's a common mistake, entity in yourself, air, it's a short, that's the type of number it is, -1, data get, entity, okay, so we're missing a run there, run, data get, entity, let's take away that space at the end, don't want that, at S, air. So we're just updating its air tag, and that should make the movement a little bit smoother. Okay, let's turn it on, and let's fingers crossed. Ooh, that went down very fast, and also very loud. Okay, that's coming down too fast. It certainly seems to be working, but we want to be coming down a little bit less fast than that. So where were we setting the power? Was it in this first one? Power down here. What have we got? Let's set this power down to 0.0. Let's see what 0.01 does. Ah, that's a little bit better. Hey, okay. So we've got some numbers we can play with there. So we can play with its power down. So let's up the power down. Let's up the power down. That makes no sense. It's sort of like we're sort of changing its gravity. Let's give it more gravity. It'll come down faster. And we also let's make it go a bit faster as well. So in our second command, that's how far away from 0, 0 do we put it? We've put it at 0.7. Let's up that to something like 2. Okay. What have we got now? Ah, okay. We fire up the... There we go. Okay, there we go. We've got a little bit of an update, as I say. 2, just for a bit of fun. Well, I suppose 1 is for a bit of fun. We've added the gravity. That's just to make it a bit more interesting. The next one, we've made it so we can only use a tagged carrot on a stick. Means players can't craft their own. You now have control. You know, you give them the carrot on the stick or they can't have it because it's tagged. And the most importantly, we've removed those markers from having their own little party down in the void where they're just going to hang around forever. Okay, I tried to make it as quick as possible. Hopefully it all made sense, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.